What's going on, guys? Bengal again here, coming back at you with another video. Today, doing another rebuild. This one is the offseason version of the Las Vegas Raiders. It's going to take me so long to actually get to saying that. Obviously, on the screen, you can see it says the Oakland Raiders. We have to set that aside. I've loaded in the Madden 21 rosters. Big shout out to MF Maddox for making those. So, there are rookies on the team. You talk about Henry Ruggs, Lynn Bowden Jr., Brian Edwards. We're going to go over all the rookies in a little bit of depth here in a minute when we go over the roster. It's going to be exciting, but this is the Henry Ruggs themed Las Vegas Raiders rebuild. We're going to have a lot of decisions to make in the very near future regarding guys like Derek Carr. I mean, some of the better aging players like Rodney Hudson and Richie Incognito. There are a lot of decisions that need to be made. And of course, this video is sponsored by Manscaped, the premier manscaping brand on the market, made famous by their rebuilt, retooled lawnmower 3.0, included LED light, upgraded motor, skin-safe technology. The only thing this thing can't do is cut you. If it nicks your sack, send it back. Link is in the description. You can use code BANGLE, save yourself 20%, and also 2 free gifts. You got to check out the Perfect Package 3.0. You got to check out the Lawnmower 3.0. They've got an incredible line of products that will save you time and money and pain. Lawnmower 3.0, Perfect Package 3.0, 20% off. Use code BANGLE. Link is in the description. So let's go ahead and take a look at the team. Obviously, we have to, think about what these players offer us in Madden more than just in real life. And guys like Derek Carr are kind of on that borderline of they're getting into the regression age for Madden. He's 28, and he's only an 80 overall. Is this our future franchise quarterback over the next 3 or 4 seasons? I'm not convinced, so that's going to be a tough decision. Might end up trading him. Josh Jacobs is obviously going to be the franchise running back here. Jalen Richard is a more than capable backup. And Alex Ingold is a fine fullback. It's a fullback. The receiving core is interesting because Tyrell Williams is not super old, but he's nearing that age of regression at 27 years old. I think it's 28. Costs a lot to get him up to that next XP package. So, is he our future number 1 receiver? I doubt it. I think that's going to be Henry Ruggs, and we're going to customize him to his actual contract and also give him a development trade. I think we're going to give him star. Hunter Renfrow is also going to move up. He'll probably operate mostly out of the slot. The team signed Nelson Aguilar, who personally I have no interest in. I also don't care for Zay Jones. I'd rather have Brian Edwards and Lynn Bowden Jr. play even more. Of course, Bowden Jr. is listed as a running back here, but I think he was drafted. I'm actually not sure if he was drafted as a running back or a receiver, but did all of that at Kentucky, including quarterback. So he is an extremely versatile player that could be really, really fun to watch at the next level on, trick plays and different random packages and Wildcat, just basically as a gadget player, at least, out of the gate. On the offensive line, it looks really solid right now. Colton Miller is not all that good, but Richie Incognito is solid. However, very old. The bully is 36. Rodney Hudson is on the wrong side of 30 as he's approaching 30, 31, 32. Gabe Jackson is younger, star development, but is approaching that age of regression. And then Trent Brown is the youngest of all of them at 26 years old. He'll be perfectly fine, but the rest I have some question marks. And then Darren Waller is one of the better tight ends in the league. Kind of out of nowhere. Here's Foster Moreau. People love to say that I look like him on occasion. I don't particularly see it. Maybe if I got a huge neck, if I actually started getting swole. And then we have maybe the second worst commentator in the history of at least Monday Night Football in Jason Witten. Number 1, I think we can agree, is Booger McFarland. Absolutely terrible. And then, who would number 3 be? Dennis Miller, maybe? If you guys remember the very early 2000s. I love it, he's a funny guy. He's from SNL, but wasn't much of a Monday Night Football commentator. On defense, team signed Corey Littleton and Nick Kwiatkowski. Very nice. Now, other than that, it's not so nice. Tanner Muse is a generous 65 overall on this roster. Markel Lee doesn't offer us a ton. Going to have to upgrade one of these positions for sure at linebacker. Jeff Heath is not what I want starting at strong safety. We're going to have Jonathan Abrams start in that role. Demarius Randall was signed. He'll play free safety. And I think LaMarcus Joyner is going to be our main nickel corner. Although with the draft pick, it's not showing up. But Amik Robertson, I might want him to be the future slot corner. I don't love Prince Amukamara here. They signed him. I don't love Nevin Lawson. I'd rather play Damon Arnett, who I'm going to give star development. And I'd rather play Trayvon Mullen, who obviously we can't change his development trait. But I don't want Prince Amukamara. I don't want Nick Nelson or Nevin Lawson. I might just end up cutting some of these guys. Nick Nelson doesn't make sense financially, but Prince Amukamara definitely would. He just offers us no value. That's a big penalty to cut him. What's Nevin Lawson's cap penalty for cutting him? It just doesn't make sense to cut them right now. Jeff Heath doesn't matter. But LaMarcus Joyner, I don't really know what his job's going to be right now, because even though he's getting a bit older as well at 28, it's that age of regression. I hate it, but it is what it is. He's more fit to be a free safety or slot corner, but the team has LaMarcus Joyner now, and it's not like he's going to slide over to play strong safety with Jonathan Abram there. I don't really know what we're going to do, and I know that Demarius Randall has experience playing cornerback, even though he never should have. He was such a good safety for Arizona State. I'm not sure why, the Green Bay Packers drafted him to play corner, and then he played great safety for the Browns. But I don't know. That's the secondary. We'll figure out something. LaMarcus Joyner is going to start for the time being. And then on the defensive line, I love Cleveland Ferrell. He finally started to turn it around in the second half of the season for the Raiders. Definitely was not that good the first half. I'm going to play him over Carl Nassib, though. Max Crosby was great last season. Arden Key is a solid backup. And then we got Mo Hurst and Jonathan Hankins up the middle. Also I have Malik Collins, PJ Hall. Maurice Hurst is fantastic for the future. It's not like we have a ton going on outside of him. He's just like the perfect age and development and overall for the future that we can really build around him. But that is the team. I'm not really going to make any trades. As I said, I'm going to give Damon Arnett and Henry Ruggs star development. I'm not really willing to go much higher than that, but I think star development is fine for those guys. And also, I'm going to give him a 5-year contract because we're going to pretend we're picking up his 5th-year option, and I will give him star development. Obviously, if you guys are new here, you cannot, in the roster outside of franchise, give any rookie a development trait. So we have to give whatever rookie, whatever development trait we want. I usually don't do it overkill unless I would actually give them that development trait. I don't ruin it for the rebuild. Another first-round pick. We'll pretend to pick up his 5th-year option, even though that one's pretty cheap. That money is going to scale over time. And then Damon Arnett gets star development as well. So that changes some things. The first year doesn't really matter all that much. We're just going to be playing rookies, maybe going for development trait upgrades. I don't really want to play Prince Amukamara all that much. But this is where we are right now. I'm also actually going to give Amik Robertson superstar development. Or not superstar. I'm going to give him star development. He actually had superstar in my draft class, if you guys followed that at all. But I have really high hopes for Amik Robertson. I think he went to a pretty decent situation, and he's a really good player. Was a great boundary cornerback for Louisiana Tech. Probably works better to the inside based on his size in the NFL. But really, size is the only thing that held him back. Amik Robertson is an absolute stud. I'm also going to cut Zay Jones. I just don't want him. So I'm also going to load in the draft class at about week 3, which is the first time that you're able to. Of course, I know I'm repeating myself for a lot of you, but there are a ton of new viewers every time we do these. If you guys are new here, I think about 40% of the people that see these types of videos are not subscribed. So hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. And even if you don't, also just please hit it. And the file that I've been using most recently has been from ATL Falcons. And he actually left a note to me in his description most recently to say that he updated it on the 10th to include some of my suggested changes. Now, if you're watching this, Falcons ATL, we need Trey Lance. Trey Lance, the North Dakota State quarterback, needs to be included. I don't even know which one it is. I got to re-download maybe. Mid-season mark, not exactly killing it. 1-6. Do the Raiders have a first-round pick in this year's class as well from someone else? I don't think that they do. I think it's only the Texans and the Dolphins, maybe? Not the Texans. The Dolphins. No. The Dolphins and... yeah, I think it's just the Dolphins, so I don't have to worry about trading for any pick. But we're 1-6 at the midseason mark. Not on pace to do very well in terms of making the playoffs, but in line for a pretty good draft pick, as Jalen Richard is an impending free agent. I don't think I'm going to bring him back, or really anyone else. There's just no need. So it is time to simulate to the playoffs. Did not make the playoffs, 5-11. The stats don't really matter, as this was like the first season where we haven't really made any changes yet. I'm just going to spend some Coach XP and we'll be good to go. And there's a 49ers-Ravens rematch in the Super Bowl. Very cool, but it is time for free agency and eventually the draft. I don't usually buy anyone. I'm going to rephrase that. Don't usually pay for any big free agent signing in the first year just because the options are never good. So this is more of a time where we focus on the draft. I do need to get a kicker, though. And we brought in Brandon McManus. So decent free agent signing there. We got a kicker. But it is time for the draft. So we're picking at number 5. What position do we even want here? I feel like defense just has a lot of emerging young players where I'm not really trying to draft over them at the moment. Offense is in a similar spot. I think offensive line is going to be a big focus maybe next year. I'm not sure this year. Nick Kwiatkowski got star development. That's nice to see. I'm fine with Max Crosby right now. I would almost suggest moving to a 3-4 where Furrow can be an outside linebacker, where Max Crosby can be a 3-4 defensive end. We can have Jonathan Hankins at nose tackle, and then Maurice Hurst can be a 3-4 defensive end. Malik Collins, backup defensive tackle. PJ Hall comes in goal line situations. I don't really want Carl Nassib that much. And then maybe we have 2 middle linebackers. We're just looking for one more edge. So edge is an option at 5. That's in play. Damon Arnett went up to superstar development, by the way. Didn't even notice that. I don't know why, but he got it. Abrams going up a bit. I don't really want to draft a safety. I don't really want to draft a corner. So I guess this really goes to the offense side of the ball or edge. Josh Jacobs says superstar. I don't really want to draft a receiver. I don't even know what position to take. I guess it depends what's here. Cardinals go Penei Sewell, tackle out of Oregon. Gregory Rousseau goes to the Titans. Jets take Sean Wade. They get a corner. And the Bengals take Micah Parsons. So what do we even want here? At number 5, we have 2 first-round picks because why? Because this is 2020 actually and not 2021. I don't really know what to do about that, so I might just take both of them. Sue me. I'm just not taking this pick at 5. I'm going to trade this down. I'll probably do a manual trade for this because the offers are not going to be the actual value that I can get by just trading this on the open market in manual trade. It just depends, like, who do I want to trade with, who's going to be really bad next year. All right, I'm making a move. Trading number 5 overall, number 69 overall. Not so nice in this case. And number 77 for actually unknown next year. First round pick from the Panthers next year. Number 57 this year, and a second round pick from them next year. I like the value a lot. I don't really like our options here at number 5. I feel like we'd overdraft for whoever I want. So I'll take the pick at 13. And I think we'll be able to better assess the board. Now, a bunch of great receivers available. Also, Trevor Lawrence is available at 13. I'm not passing that up. Trevor Lawrence to the Las Vegas Raiders. He's number 13 in the class. That's crazy. Trevor Lawrence is a pretty good quarterback prospect. That's wild. Here in the second round, oh, it's tough to pass on some of these receivers that are so good, that are always on the board. If I had a recommendation for the draft class creator, Falcons, I would say overrate the receivers so that they go earlier. Like, put them higher in the draft class so that all these receivers don't last on the board so long. I like Anthony Hines here, man. He looks pretty solid. Might be a bit of a reach here, but I like that he's a coverage linebacker. He's not, horrific in space with good, decent speed. Not crazy. But I think we're going to take Anthony Hines here, and we'll see if we can develop him. 72 overall, number 60 in the class. We took him at 57. Star or better development. Certainly an upgrade over Markel Lee. 85 speed is not bad, man. 76 zone coverage, 82 tackle. Not too bad. So I think clearly the Raiders wouldn't pass on some of those great receivers at this point, but they went receiver heavy in the last year. I might just go Chase Lucas here, honestly. just for cornerback depth. So our better development is pretty nice at 72 overall. That's going to do it for this draft. We'll see what the CPU is capable of bringing in for us. But yeah, I'm just not trying to draft the same players every single time in these offseason rebuilds just to keep it a little bit fresh for you guys. So I want to bring in new players. I want to build new storylines each time. So I can't take Rondell Moore every draft. I can't take, Amon-Ra St. Brown or whoever it happens to be every single draft. Although I will tell you, we're going to start Donaldson with the CPU drafted. Pretty big pickup. I'm going to trade Derek Carr almost certainly right now. I have little to no interest in keeping him. And I'm going to probably trade Nelson Aguilar. We got Marcel Aitman in there as well. Where is Bowden Jr.? Not listed at running back. I guess we'll move him back maybe, or move him. All right, this is a weird one, I guess. Derek Carr, Nelson Aguilar, Jonathan Hankins for the projected 3rd overall pick in 2021. Damon Harrison and the tight end Hennessy, just for cap purposes to make the trade go through. Weird. I mean, I'll take it. Obviously, I like the pick. Damon Harrison was also a trade I made for cap purposes. I'm probably going to look to trade him right now, though. I don't really want him. But I could package him with Carl Nassib pretty easily, and then another corner if I wanted to, like Princeton Mukamara. That would also free up some cap. And he's gone. Who left? Oh, Harrison. Okay, I got to reset it. Oh, that got accepted. Okay, Damon Harrison and Princeton Mukamara straight up for Julio Jones. They're looking to unload his contract in what I believe is the final year of that deal. So we get a monster receiver 1. And now I don't really care about having Tyrell Williams anymore. So I could trade him if I wanted to, but I think I just might keep him there as another weapon for Trevor Lawrence. It's an option. It's an option. And then defensive, I mean, we could still use an upgrade at linebacker. That could be a thing. I don't want Carl Nassib, but there's almost no interest in him at all, league-wide. Carl Nassib, Tyrell Williams for a first-round pick from the Seahawks, who are shockingly bad in simulations, so that pick might end up being pretty good. But I would rather have that pick to maybe even trade for a player over Tyrell Williams. That means Henry Ruggs, Hunter Renfrow are going to get more playing time. We have Brian Edwards underneath that, Marcel Aitman. I mean, it's definitely worth it. And then I think, again, Lynn Bowden Jr., I remember to make his contract 4 years, so he shouldn't be off the team. He's just probably listed super low at receiver. Where is he? He's just not showing up anymore. I mean, like, I'm confused. I assume he'd be listed at halfback where it showed him earlier, but I just don't see him anywhere. He's not on our team anymore. So I'm not really sure where to find him. I mean, BOW, I haven't seen it once. And maybe I'm missing it. I don't know. He could be on a practice squad. Is that a thing where they wouldn't show up? I guess so, but I do not know where he is. I have no idea where he is. I can't really tell you anything more than that. I've looked around the league. It's not like he's much more than a backup running back to me anyway. But he's just not there. Unless I completely am blind and I missed him, which is a possibility, but did not see him. There he is. He's a random free agent, even though I made it so he had a 4-year contract for us. We're going to sign him back. I don't know. That's so strange. Because I specifically remember going in there and editing it, but it just didn't do it, I guess. I don't know. This is the team for season number 2. Looks pretty solid. Defense is looking a little bit worse than the offense, but we've got a lot of potential out here, and I'm excited to see what this team is capable of. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. I got to change. I don't know why Furl would be listed as a rush defensive tackle. That makes no sense. I had to change specialist, but I'm going to do that. And I guess I'll just see you guys at the midseason mark. Not doing too well at the midseason mark. 2-5. Raiders playbook sucks. I don't really want any of these players to come back, so they're not going to. Another offseason of not re-signing anyone, which means the Raiders are in a pretty good position in real life where none of their best players have ending contracts anytime soon. So good on the Raiders for setting that up with a lot of young talent, but We'll see if they can, get coached up and actually play to that potential. And we'll see where we are here as we advance to the playoffs. Doubt we're going to be in them, but who knows? Could have had a crazy turnaround, but we did not. Finished at 3-13. Worst offense in the NFL. Very cool. And the worst defense in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence was not even that terrible, just very, very safe. Josh Jacobs had a great year. Henry Ruggs had a very solid year, all things considered. Julio wasn't dominant or anything like that. Defensively, Corey Littleton had a great year. A lot of tackles. Didn't get any pressure. And then we didn't really get any turnovers. Oh, man. Yearly awards. Deshaun Watson wins MVP. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Dak. Defensive Player of the Year, Leighton Vander Esch. We did 2 Giants in there? Was it? Oh, no, it's Saquon. No Daniel Jones. Defensive Player of the Year, Leighton Vander Esch. No Raiders. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Devontae Smith. Another Alabama receiver to the Falcons. Wild. Life's crazy. No Raiders. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Dylan Moses with the Lions. I probably would have taken him if he was available at 13. Evidently was not. And we ended up going with Trevor Lawrence, who is now our franchise QB, although he's got to start playing a lot better. We're going to have the number 1 overall pick this year, which is not ideal. But it is only year 2. If this is the case in year 3 and 4, I'm going to be very upset. $60 million to spend in free agency, and Patrick Mahomes is here. He's always there. Marshawn Lattimore we've got kind of a few times now. LaMarcus Joyner is regressing quickly, though. So it's definitely a signing that makes sense. I don't want to do the same thing every time. But I'll lowball him and see if we can bring him in for, almost nothing considering. 64 total points is like nothing. So if he signs that, that'd be fantastic. Is there anyone else that we could bring in that would be worthwhile? I think I might just rather save the money. Zach Cunningham wouldn't be for the worst. I think I'll probably just save the money, though. If we can bring in Marshawn Lattimore, that'd be fantastic. And if not, kind of whatever. We've gotten him a lot recently. So I don't really want to do that every single rebuild. But he accepts and he's back. All right, cool. 5th-year option. Colton Miller. We'll bring him back for 1 more year. And hopefully he plays well enough to increase his overall and his development. He's got, what? Is he normal? He might be normal development. That's not a player I want around long-term. We might draft or trade for his replacement as soon as possible. So I would say stay on the lookout for that. We'll check out the team and some of our potential needs going into the draft. It's great that Trevor Lawrence has superstar development. We need a left tackle and a left guard and probably a right guard, and Trent Brown is starting to regress. Or maybe his morale is just holding him back. Oh, it's just morale. Okay, that's cool. We need to start winning games, and that's going to change. And then defensively, Hines has star. Corey Littleton's up to star. Linebackers are fine. Jonathan Abram got upgraded to star. We need to improve the defensive line. Defensive tackle. A free safety now. Corner even. Edge. I already said that. I don't know. We need a lot. We have a lot of picks, though. Hopefully the draft class is good. We have number 1 and then number 9. You've ever seen a video before on the channel, I'm probably not taking this number 1 overall pick. I'd rather just trade down and get more picks while still getting the players I want. I just have to decide who those players are. Some great tackles available past the first, and we have 4 first-round picks, so maybe you don't even need to take them there. Trading number 1 overall for number 2 overall. I'm also trading a 6 and a 7 for a 2 and a 1 next year. So number 34 this year and a 1 next year from the Jaguars. They can take whoever they want at number 1 overall. And then maybe I'll take someone at number 2. They went with Lewis Bullard, the player I would have taken at 2. So now I'm in a situation where I might even just trade down again or trade this pick for a player. Trading a 2 and a 4 for Quentin Nelson, one of the best guards in the NFL. Pretty good value for him, clearly, as we look to upgrade our offensive line. I'm still looking for potentially a tackle. I'm going to draft those. Just the pickup of Quentin Nelson was way too good to turn down. He's someone that I like to get in rebuilds just because he's so good, and offensive linemen are easily acquirable. Now, I don't Really like Cleveland Ferrell and Max Crosby still on the team in starting positions, honestly, because they're just not developing. I like Max Crosby. I like Cleveland Ferrell. They need to start developing, and I need a real true edge rusher badly. And I'm going to trade the number 2 overall pick and maybe more, probably more, to get a premier pass rusher in the NFL. It's going to happen. All right, the trade that I ended up settling on was Colton Miller, the number 2 overall pick, and the number 17 overall pick for Danielle Hunter from the Vikings. Now, bit of a weird one. I had to trade for Nick Bosa, but for some reason it said that it would cause him to exceed the league salary cap. So couldn't end up making that move. Would have been nice to have Nick Bosa, but it doesn't matter because we have Danielle Hunter, superstar X Factor as well. Really huge addition to our defense, which is somewhat transitioning to 3-4. I haven't decided on whether that's going to be a legit thing yet or not, but I think it will be. It just plays better in simulation, and that matters. All right, pick 9, I'm taking Frank Coleman. That's like a classic 1980s name of what a beast defensive lineman would have been. Who was the great Coleman? I know there's Chris Dolman is probably who I'm thinking of. Rest in peace, by the way. Great Vikings pass rusher, and we just got one in Danielle Hunter. But we're going to take Frank Coleman here out of Wisconsin. 77 overall, ranked number 6 in the class. This is a stacked draft class. We took him at number 9. Nice. Star better development. 77 overall. Built to be on the inside with his power and finesse move, but he's got great block shedding and strength. Speed is crazy too. Frank Coleman's got a ton of potential. 3-4 defensive end of the future without question, and we pick again at number 12. I don't trust these offensive linemen sticking around, so I think I'm just going to reach on one here just to have them. Edward Eckel out of Penn State might be my move. I want to look at bench press because that does matter a lot for offensive line. I'm actually going to take Gavin Curtin instead because strength is tougher to get upgraded. He's ranked number 4 in the class at number 77 overall. Also looks like he has a nose ring piercing through his septum. I think it's just the lighting. That'd be a weird thing for EA to do. But Gavin Curtin, immediately better than, I was going to say Nate Solder for a second. That would have been foolish. Better than Colton Miller by a lot. With a better overall, a better development. Gavin Curtin's a beast. 86 pass block. What a monster. Moving up in the draft, we're trading number 5 projected next year. I think we're going to be way better than that. Hopefully that's somewhere in the 30s if we're lucky. We're trading a 3rd next year and a 5th this year for number 14 overall. I just don't trust a lot of these players staying on the board from, like playing Madden as much as I have and doing as many drafts as I have. They're just going to get taken way above their projected draft range. So you have to trade up if you want some of these guys, and I have no problem trading up at that spot. It's either do I want Victor Jennings or do I want another offensive lineman in Edward Eckel? And I think Eckel is just going to be better for us because even though we upgraded left guard and left tackle so far in the draft, we still have potential holes at right guard and center. Really just right guard. I mean, I guess you know what? I might take the corner because there's a tackle I like a little bit later. So I guess even though he looks very solid and he's going to be a super high overall, might even be the best player in the draft. You never know. I think there's a big chance of that. I think I would prefer Victor Jennings based on him filling a more immediate need with LaMarcus Joyner getting older. And I mean, Victor Jennings just has all the makings of a monster. Amazing speed, had an amazing combine. His top skills, he can both do both man and zone coverage, high awareness. He should be a really good player, and he is. 75 overall, star better development, number 12 in the class. Wearing Charles Woodson's 24, that's terrible. But amazing speed, man and zone are not too bad. Press is nice, good acceleration. He's a very solid player. Nice hit power as well. I would be shocked if Eckel was still on the board. I don't think he's going to be, and he is not. I'm going to take Connor McGuire here at the top of the 2nd. Maybe my eventual right guard. Ranked number 8 in the class. We took him at 34. Only normal development. He's also got 86 pass block. Very nice. Trading a 2 and a 3 this year and a 2 next year for a 1 from the Giants next year. Maybe I'll leverage that into something, but I didn't really like any of the rest of the players in this draft, so it's not real life. We're not building for depth. We're building for talent. So this will be the team for season number 3. Solid offense. We need Trevor Lawrence to take a step up this year. He has some pretty good weapons. Might want to get him another big one, though, and have Henry Ruggs be our third option if he continues to regress the way he is. Need that to be a little bit better. Offensive line solid. We got McGuire ready to take over for Gabe Jackson when the moment arises. And then defensively, hopefully the change to 3-4 helps us out significantly. We've got a solid defensive line. Cleveland Ferrell is just not developing. I can't force it at this point. It just is what it is. And Marshawn Lattimore is a new addition. Damon Arnett. We got the Ohio State trio. There are only two. It's not what trio means. Looking for any other Ohio State players. And not really seeing them. This is the way a specialist is going to look. Daniil Hunter, rush left end. The rookie Frank Coleman, rush right end. Mo Hurst and Malik Collins up the middle. Maybe we'll slide Max Crosby inside and he'll play in that role. Corey Littleton, sub LB. LaMarcus Joyner in the nickel. Henry Ruggs, our slot receiver. And I will see you guys at the midseason mark. 4-3 at the midseason mark. This is improvement at the very least. We'll upgrade our team. Also see that Quentin Nelson was easy to trade for, expiring contract. So we're going to need to extend him as soon as possible. So it's going to be really imperative to extend him to a long-term deal. Corey Littleton, Mo Hurst, Demarius Randall, Nick Witkowski, Malik Collins, all expiring contracts. All like a weird age, 28, 29. I don't love that. Corey Littleton's 27. I do want to bring these guys back, though. We have the money to do it. Let's not worry about it. So we brought back Quentin Nelson, Corey Littleton, and Maurice Hurst. I don't know about Demarius Randall right now or Nick Witkowski. They're both at the regressing ages, so we're paying for a worse player than they are even now, and that's not even fantastic. Malik Collins doesn't really offer anything for me. I mean, he's strong. There you go. Can't shed blocks or really get to the passer. I mean, he's at 89 finesse moves. Why would it only show power moves there as one of his top stats? Okay, cool. Well done. Playoff time, hopefully, for the boys. We're up to a 91 offense. I think it was 86 defense. It was 88 overall, and the numbers do not like add up and then divide by 2 to equal like what the actual team overall is. We didn't make the playoffs. Yeah, 92 offense, 87 defense now for an 89 overall. 8-8 we went. Did not make the playoffs. Finished second. AFC West was very highly contested. We couldn't pull through. Okay, so this is the time to decide if we want Demarius Randall back, which I don't. I mean, he's down to 80, but he's up to superstar development. Why did that happen? Kwiatkowski, 29 years old. Malik Collins, I just don't want. It's not really a point. I don't know. That's just there's no point. He's 30 years old. He's already regressed more. Kwiatkowski, there's still no point. Ooh, free agency has Darius Leonard, and nobody wants him. I want you, Darius. I'll give you a contract. Doesn't even have to be that much because no one else is offering. Now they might jump in week 2, but that might be enough to get him. And Jesse Bates is, I mean, we needed free safety, and he is actually super cheap. So I can extend that big time and probably, well, that's way too much, but we'll definitely get him. Ooh, Henry Ruggs got superstar. Did I check the stats for this year? I don't think I did. He won wide receiver of the year. Let me check the stats real quick before we get to the offseason. You guys are probably mad at me for that. But we'll check it out. Our offense was not much better, although Trevor Lawrence was definitely better. Our defense was about middle of the pack, but we're doing better. That's a good season from Trevor Lawrence. I don't even care. Rushing, I mean, Josh Jacobs was pretty good. Didn't get a ton of touches, all things considered. Henry Ruggs had over 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns and only 72 catches. What a year from him. Julio's not really contributing all that much, considering that he's Julio Jones. A little bit disappointing there. Yes, he's just eating up coverage. Corey Littleton, solid season. 11 tackles for loss. Was 5th on the team. Daniil Hunter had a great year. I mean, we're just not getting a ton of pressure on the QB. 9 sacks from Max Crosby. We're just playing well. Marshawn Lattimore was 6 picks. The rest of the team combined for 2. Odd. Justin Fields won MVP with the Titans. It's always strange. The Colts, I mean, 2 and the Colts dominated. 12-4. That's crazy. NFC Offense Player of the Year, Ezekiel Elliott. No Raiders. Defensive. Why am I looking the NFC? The Raiders are an AFC team. Have I done that twice now? You guys are just, Bengals stupid. I guess so. Trevor Lawrence was in there at 10. Defensive Player of the Year, Avery Williamson. Offensive Rookie of the Year, J.T. McCoy. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Bradley Meredith. Frank Coleman at 3. I feel like I did the NFC for the first... I mean, I don't even know if I showed stats season 1, but I definitely did it for year 2. Come to think of it. So, yikes on my part. Frank Coleman, Superstar X Factor. Did he get that? Or... Oh, we drafted him with Superstar X Factor. I feel like it's been forever since we actually drafted a Superstar X Factor player. But Darius Leonard, how good would he fit at middle linebacker? How well would he fit? So well. I'll answer my own question. He would fit so well. All right, we got Jesse Bates. No Darius Leonard just yet, and he's not cheap if other teams are going after him. The Jags are outbidding us. Can you not? Can you not? And we also got Darius Leonard, and we have fifth-year options to address. That's going to be Cleveland Ferrell. I'm going to decline it. I mean, he's not going to be a big building block for us down the road because he doesn't do anything. He's not developing. I loved him at Clemson, but I mean, he has no spot on the team. What am I supposed to do? Another fifth-year option on Josh Jacobs. I mean, yeah, I'm going to extend him. He is definitely a more impactful player on our team right now than Josh Jacobs. I'll tell you that much for free. I'm hoping we get J.K. Scott just because we need a punter. Our offense do be doing a lot of that, but we'll go ahead and sign J.K. Scott there and then get ready for the draft. Not really sure what position we even need. I feel like our team as a whole is pretty good right now, where we don't necessarily need any one position. The only position I think we could really improve is wide receiver, and that's not really a position you draft for in the game too much. It's a solid position for us. Offensive line's good. Defensively, maybe a strong safety, but Jonathan Abrams solid. I mean, there's no one position we can really draft for right now. We're just kind of solid all over the place. I mean, I almost considered cornerback for a minute. I didn't even check the corner that we drafted that, I mean, isn't even cracking the top anything in our depth chart. Victor Jenny is superstar development too. I'm not even playing him. Well, that's going to change for the next season. I got to get LaMarcus Joyner off this team. This is like maybe the best middle linebacker prospect I've ever seen in Jaron Leach. I don't think I've ever seen a minus or above play rec on a linebacker ever. That's a very odd stat to see there, or attribute, I should say. Very, very strange. This seems to be a loaded draft class, if I had to bet. I think every player I have mild interest in is going to be off the board by 7. So if I want, you know, any of those top guys, I'm going to have to move up. I would be eyeing probably the Bears pick, but I don't even think I'll be able to get this. Actually, I probably will with the first round pick next year. So it's number 7 and number 1 projected next year for number 2. And we still keep 17. Rams took Parrish Conley, the right end out of UNC. Now, who do I want? This would be a pretty big spot for a receiver if I wanted to do that. And I think I will. I think it's going to be Kendall Houston. Is he 24? That's so old. Angel Hodges is 21, but significantly slower. Although we're not really looking for a speed guy necessarily. It's just who would I rather have? Would I rather have the old guy? I say old, he's 24, but older. It's going to be costing him more to get upgraded. I'm going to take Hodges even though he's slower. Whatever. He's a 76 overall, ranked number 8. We took him at 2. Star or better development. Only 88 speed is tough. The rest of those attributes look pretty good, but 88 speed is poor. And Kendall Houston is a 76 overall. Jaron Leach is a 78, one of the higher overall linebackers I've ever seen, as I mentioned. They were all gone before 5. So we'll see what's available at 17. I don't really need to draft anyone. We've had a solid draft for what we needed, which was nothing. We'll take Kai Coakley out of Connecticut. Pretty cool name. He's number 6 in the draft. We took him at 17. He doesn't play man coverage, but he definitely plays zone coverage. Looks like a safety. 91 speed, 79 zone coverage, 67 tackle, 76 hit power. He's a safety, which is cool, but we don't really need that. He'll be a nickel cornerback for us if I even want to play him in that role, which I don't have to because we have a bunch of good corners. But that is going to do it for our draft. No players available that I want, so we'll just simulate it. And then I'd like to find a spot for some of these guys to come in and make an impact, but I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's not really a spot for these guys. We're going to trade LaMarcus Joyner and Chase Lucas for Will Hernandez. It's an upgrade over Gabe Jackson, who I think I'm probably just going to cut. 31 years old, only 78 overall. Frees up a lot of cap space. Not that we really need to worry about that, but definitely a big addition to our team, as Will Hernandez is going to slide over to right guard. This is going to be the team for season number 4. Really good team. I don't really even feel like stopping playing with this. This is for the first time in a while. We've built an absolute juggernaut. I mean, an absolute monster of a team, especially on defense. Kai Coakley's going to start a free safety. I moved Jesse Bates to strong safety. Jonathan Abram can be a backup. Our linebacking core is fantastic. Our defensive line is very solid. A lot of potential there, even though the overalls aren't so high. Cornerbacks are sick. I'm going to play Victor Jennings over Trayvon Mullen because he has superstar development. He should definitely be playing a lot more than he has been. And then Hodges we can move up to be a return man because he's our rookie receiver. Want to get him as many touches as possible. And then our slot corner, I guess we'll make Victor Jennings. Trayvon Mullen can be behind him. I'm going to change slot receiver. I mean, we got a solid team out here. Only 4-3 at the midseason mark. Doesn't look like we're going to make the playoffs in this season either, despite having a sick team. 90 overall, 92 offense. Our offense is just bad, though. Hodges, we still don't know his overall, but he's up to an 80 already. He had 4 skill points. We're 5 snaps away from knowing his development. I think it's at least star. That's my bold claim there. I think it'll be superstar. I don't know about superstar X Factor, though. Coakley has superstar dev. That's sick. What a draft pick. Love that for him. Jennings working out. I mean, the team looks so cool in terms of development traits. We are out here killing it, despite the record. I mean, the record is not good. Rodney Hudson is an impending free agent. Not sure if we want to bring him back. He is 33, but he's still good. Trent Brown, still good. Hunter Renfrow, I don't need really anymore, but maybe. Jonathan Abram, I don't really need anymore, but maybe. Man, Rodney Hudson did not get the face scan, but he rejoins the team. Trent Brown, I want as well. He is also not expensive, considering his age and being one of the better tackles in the league. Max Crosby, he's way too expensive for what he brings to the table. I'm not doing that. Hunter Renfrow, I mean, he's going to be a 4th receiver on the team. We'll sign him anyway. Or maybe we won't. Max Crosby, I mean, like, he's asking for $9 million a year. Am I supposed to give him that? Maybe. We'll only simulate 1 week here. Actually, I want to simulate the Chargers as well because they're 7-1. We're 4-4. We lost the Chargers. Oh my goodness, we suck. Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. And Hodges says superstar X Factor. I mean, what is happening? 2 superstar X Factors drafted. Unbelievable. Henry Ruggs is almost up to a 90. I mean, the team is looking sick. We're just not winning. We have the 8th best offense, so our offense is actually good. Our defense is trash. Unreal. All right, we did not make the playoffs. That'll happen. We finished at 8-8, so we kind of kept up the same trend of not being good enough the entire year. We're going to do one more season. I don't really know why we're not performing. This is one of the better teams we've built in a while because it's going to be even better this next season. Like, we're not really losing anyone except for maybe Max Crosby, and that's not exactly a huge loss. I think the plan is going to be just either bring him back in free agency or bring in somebody better. And then, I mean, what does Jonathan Abram want? Not really that much. We'll keep him for special teams and being a good backup. Flies around, big tackler, big speed. Jonathan Abram works for special teams pretty well. Hunter Renfrow, goodbye. Max Crosby is decent. Maybe doesn't fit our 3-4 so well, but that doesn't really matter in Madden usually. So that's not why we're losing, is because of Max Crosby. We're just, I need to find the right playbook. We have so much money. So much money. We just got to find the right playbook. Who do we bring in here? I mean, there's nobody good. It's going to be Max Crosby. I mean, with this contract right now, with 101 total points, we're paying him less than we would have by just bringing him back in the re-signing period, which makes 0 sense. We also got Mecole Hardman and Max Crosby rejected. I mean, okay, that's fine. As if we didn't have enough speed, though, we brought in Mecole Hardman, which is fantastic. Julio is just, like, not it anymore. He's down to an 83 overall, so I figured bring in somebody who's a little bit better right now. And then Hodges can be our third receiver, and Julio Jones is maybe the best fourth option of all time at this point, being Julio Jones. We need a backup running back. Josh Jacobs is up to Superstar X Factor. Trevor Lawrence is up to Superstar X Factor. What is going on? Defensive Marshawn Lattimore went up to Superstar. I mean, look at all the development traits all over the field. This is unbelievable. Coakley's up to an 84. I mean, our team is nuts. We got DeAndre Swift as well. There we go, baby. Good backup running back. I'm making a trade for a defensive tackle to play defensive end in our 3-4. So we're making a big move right now. We got to improve that defense. And right end is a huge position of need. Ooh, Rodney Hudson retired after I extended him. That's not cool. But we'll just move Connor McGuire to center. That's why we drafted offensive linemen to be potential backups, is now they can come in and start. Is there anything I can actually trade? Like, not really. It might, I mean, I can't even trade a corner. It might be Jonathan Abram if I were to trade anybody, but I think the picks will be enough to get a solid D tackle anyway. Boom, a 1 and a 2 gets us Fletcher Cox. He is 32, but this is also the last year that we're going to be doing this. Our team is as good as it possibly could be. If we don't win games now, I mean, it'd be ridiculous. All right, we don't have a first-round pick, but we do pick in the second. This is just cornerback depth at this point that we need. Could take a backup QB. It looks to be a strong quarterback class available here in the second round. But I think a backup corner. Oh, they're all horrific. Okay, cool. Could use a backup defensive tackle, and there are a lot of good ones. All right, cool. We'll go Bennett Jackson here. Good backup defensive tackle. I'll take that. Backup cornerback, Terrell Lee. Number 68, we took him at 81. Not too bad there. But I think I'll let the CPU handle the rest. And we'll start the final season. This is going to be our defense for the final season. It looks so good. It better play well. That's all I can say. And then offensively, I mean, the worst position is center, and it's not even particularly bad. It's an 81 overall. Like, we should dominate teams, and we're not going to make the playoffs, and it's going to be sad, and people are going to tell me I suck, and I'm going to cry. All right, please tell me our record's decent. 7-0. Finally. Finally, we're performing up to as good as this team is. I said performing very oddly there. Don't worry about any of that. We're going to use our Coach XP. Not that that's really going to matter too much. I'll spend it on what? Wide receiver probably makes the most sense given where we are. So I'll spend it on wide receiver. I'd love for us to have a perfect season. Will it happen? Extremely unlikely. Usually when we're undefeated at the midseason mark, we end up going something like between 14-2 and 12-4. I think we've gone 15-1 once. I'm not sure we've ever gone undefeated. Maybe in the undefeated challenge from the 0-16 to 16-0, we might have done it. And in that one, I'm not even sure we went 0-16. I think we only went 16-0. If you haven't seen that video, make sure to check it out. One of my most viewed videos of all time, really. And we'll definitely make the playoffs here unless we have some type of crazy collapse. First round bye, 51-41 win, and we finished 13-3. So that's so odd. I'll check out the team schedule, see like if we just blew teams out the entire time, because it seems like we were scoring a lot of points. Blew out the Chiefs. I mean, most games were not all that close. Lost to the Dolphins. That one, I mean, wasn't even that close. Lost by 3 to the Chiefs. What was our other loss of the second half? The Patriots. That wasn't even that close either. I mean, we scored 40 points. 1, 2, 3. 3 times. That's pretty good. I mean, I think we saw the Saints have like the highest score per game in the league either last year or 2 years ago at like 38. So to be in that same neighborhood is pretty awesome. I mean, we performed so well. Third best offense. I mean, Trevor Lawrence had a crazy year. And we had the 11th best defense. Defense is going to need to step up. Lawrence was a monster. A little bit too many interceptions. Josh Jacobs was a monster. He should get MVP votes. Henry Ruggs was a monster. Everyone was a monster. Mecole Hardman was fantastic. Darren Waller was good. Angel Hodges was pretty good. Defensively, Darius Leonard had a very solid year. Quarterback sacks 14 for Frank Coleman, 10.5 for Fletcher Cox, 9.5 for Daniil Hunter, 8.5 for Anthony Hines. Interceptions, not a whole ton, to be honest. But I think we should see MVP votes for both Trevor Lawrence and Josh Jacobs. Deshaun Watson wins it. In neither AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Neither. Oh, unreal. Defensive Player of the Year, Raekwon McMillan. Anthony Hines at 2. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Quayshawn Dupree. No Raiders. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Darrell Leno. No Raiders. What? That's crazy that we weren't even in the conversation for any of those. That's wild. Ooh, we got the Browns in the divisional. That's an interesting matchup. We'll spend our upgrade points. I can't have this be the end of the team, man. We can't lose in the divisional. We've got a 95 offense, 91 defense, 93 overall. It actually does equal out that time. Usually it doesn't because, I don't know, the game's weird. But, yeah, let's take one final look at the team overalls. Well, we'll do another one in the Super Bowl because we'll see development traits increase. But this is the team. And, I mean, it's pretty insane. Henry Ruggs, whether it's in the game, recreate another roster, or even in my draft class, just dominates and becomes a superstar X Factor every time, it seems. Like, crazy. McCole Hardman's a 90. Hodges is up to an 84. Defensively, I mean, this is one of the most underrated players that we have, honestly, is Kai Coakley, who is only in his second year. 87 overall, superstar development. He's progressed so quickly. I mean, he's going to pass Jesse Bates, maybe. That really showcases the importance of a development trait. But tell me we're not going to lose to the Browns. I'm going to jump in. I'm not going to risk it. I mean, they're an 88 overall, so they're actually very good. But hopefully we're better. These Raiders uniforms are so clean. DeAndre Swift on kickoff. That's fun. That is fun. Hopefully that never happens to him. Just because his career would be in a very different spot. But we are beating the Browns so far, but it's anyone's game as they've tied it up at 10 going into the second half. But we start off with an early second half TD. Cleveland Browns answer right back and then miss the extra point, but it's 24-7 after they get a 2-point conversion, and they're going to score again. 31-17. Our offense better get going. Time is running out. I might have to jump in right now. I can't let it die here. We turnover. What? Oh, Jesus. This team. I don't know how we're going to make a stop here. We need a turnover badly. I'm going to call timeouts now as well because we want to preserve enough time until the 2-minute warning because that's going to be a stoppage right there. They're probably going to run the ball again. So, yeah, we just got to stop it. We just got to stop it. I might even just save. Nah, I can't save a timeout because I already started calling them. So we need to force an incomplete pass here to save time. And then scoring before the 2-minute warning would be excellent. Let's run man coverage. That feels like a mistake, but incomplete pass. That's exactly what we needed, and we saved a timeout. Trying to kick a field goal. The CPU thinks it's a fake. I mean, this would be a really, really awful situation to fake one in. Although, they're faking it. What are they doing? That's the dumbest move I've ever seen. Maybe not, but that's a super, super dumb decision. I mean, they gave us field positioning, and we have a ton of speed. If Henry Ruggs could get over the top and score a touchdown before the 2-minute warning, and we still have that to work with, plus timeouts. I mean, I threw that so late. And Hodges caught it. He's a goon. He has Moss, by the way. That's his superstar X Factor. I can't call hurry up because it's going to chew a bunch of clock. It's going to chew a bunch of clock anyway. Yeah, okay. All right. Would have been to the 2-minute warning either way, unfortunately. It's crazy in Ultimate Team. It's like a 1-second runoff. Like that is wild. I saw DeAndre Swift open, but that is open. Henry Ruggs didn't get out of bounds. How is a possession catch on the sideline there not taking that out of bounds? We're running out of time. We're going to need an onside. Can I fit that in there? Henry Ruggs! Touchdown, baby! Threading the needle big time. Trevor Lawrence to Henry Ruggs. And obviously we're going to kick the extra point here. I mean, we need the onside. It's not the only way. I don't know how much time we're going to have. I'm not really a math guy. And they got it immediately. Hit stick would have been nice. 1:32 and 1 timeout. Does that give us enough time? I think it might give us like 10 seconds maybe. We really just need a turnover. We need the football right now, badly. To run to the right. Oh my God, he fell forward. That's the game. He had 168 yards in the ground, 2 touchdowns. Sold out there and still couldn't stop it. That is brutal, but that is the game we're going to lose here in the divisional. They put me in a tough position. We tried to come back, but down 31-15 with so little time, there's not really much we could do. All right, this is your final team. Really disappointing to lose like that. I mean, we made the playoffs once, and we had a God squad. I mean, this team is so good. We did nothing. Did nothing. I'm going to name... My favorite player of the video is Kai Coakley. Not even sure why. I think it's a cool name. Maybe that's why. But he progressed really quickly, as did that right end. Frank Coleman, who we didn't even talk about, but a 3-4 defensive end isn't super exciting. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.